Welcome back, everybody, to another episode of Serial Nerdism with your boy, Rafi, a.k.a. Spooderman, alongside my boy, the man, the myth, the legend, the man with the fattest rump in Warzone, Dead Havoc.
Thank you. Such a good intro, man. Shoot, talk about rump. My
all the
guy.
Rumps. All the rumps.
All the rumps.
All the rumps. What is up, man? How are you doing on this fine Sunday evening?
You know, it's Sunday, man. It's, the one thing I look forward to every Sunday is sitting with the boy and just talk about nerd stuff.
Do you look forward to this?
What the fuck is that supposed to mean?
I don't know, man. Pinky promise, so I can believe you.
It's not true unless unless we do it. Yeah.
I believe him. I don't know why, but I trust him.
I'm like the guy on the couch.
What guy on the couch?
From Dave Chappelle. When they were like, I don't know why. I believe him.
No.
From
Have faith, bro. But yeah, man.
Talk to me.
You talk to me, bro.
Look, man. Another season ended this Wednesday, and I just knew that you were going to want to talk about it. And why?
What, bro?
And why wouldn't we want to talk about this? Right?
Talk about what, man?
That one show you like.
Sips coffee.
That one show you like.
An intrigue. Oh, you mean this?
Hey,
You sure you want to do that as I'm holding this deadly weapon, bro?
Bro, that's what bad people use, bro. Actually, no, not bad people. It was started off with the bad person, but now it's on. Well, now it's destroyed, so it doesn't matter.
It looks pretty alive and well to me, man.
I mean, mine's hanging back here.
You don't want the smoke, man. What are we talking about today, bro?
We are talking about The Mandalorian, Season 3.
What?
Because of copyright, I have to do the song.
There was a third season?
There was. Now, throw that saber out the window because it's broken and non-existent.
It looks pretty fixed to me, man.
Just throw it. Just pretend you throw it, man. I just wanted to do it. I'm sorry. All right. Well, hey, season 3 ended, and man,
what you think, bro?
I think that it's obviously not as good as the second one. Now that we talked earlier, basically had to kind of do a little recap. My memory has been failing me lately.
I wonder why.
What do you mean?
I wonder why. Been going to the Mushroom Kingdom a little too often.
The Mushroom Kingdom? Dude, it's just been once. It was months ago. I'm like over it already. I did go to the Mushroom Kingdom. And as soon as it went in there, I was like, yahoo!
I'm never going back.
Dude, The Mandalorian Season 3 is up. It's over. It's done.
It's finito. It's a wrap.
Oh, man. A lot of emotions. What do you think?
A lot of emotions, both negative and positive. I want to say it's right in the middle for me.
For me, I think it's a little more... yeah, I can say... You know what? Because, I mean, I didn't dislike the season.
I wasn't blown away by it, nor was I expecting. I'm lying through my teeth. I was expecting to be blown away by it. And unfortunately...
Well, I mean, after season 2, who wasn't?
Yeah, that's true. Luke Skywalker, how can you top that?
You can't. And that's where I was getting at when I mentioned it to you. That's like when I told you, I was like, because one of our theories on season 2 was when he was trying to communicate with one of the Jedi is who's going to show up. And you said Luke. And I was like, I don't know, man. That's too big of a name to bring up just out of nowhere. I hope it's not him. I mean, not saying I hope as in... Yeah, it better not be Luke. No, I'm saying
you were hoping it would be somebody else, so it wouldn't take away from the show. Maybe.
Exactly, just a smaller name. For example, Ezra, something like that.
You know who Ezra is? Stop it! You're making me sweaty, bro.
So something that small.
Whoa.
Compared to Luke.
Ezra's not small, man.
Compared to Luke, yeah, he is.
No, he's not.
Stop.
That's how I know you've been out of the Star Wars fandom for a hot second.
Why? How would you say that Ezra is at the same caliber as Luke?
Ezra is 20% of Luke, and that's a high bar. Who else is close to that?
That could have
Not me.
That could have that could have made or showed up in season 2.
Well, you do know that Dave Filoni had Luke Skywalker under the disguise of, oh, it's going to be Plo Koon.
Mm-hmm.
You knew about that?
No, not that part.
It's funny, though, because people actually thought it was going to be Plo Koon, and then everybody was like, but how? We saw him get blown up in episode 3.
Right.
So if he's alive, Mace Windu has to be alive, and Mace Windu has to, yeah. That's a whole nother rabbit hole I don't want to get into.
Dude, right now, Mace Windu is like...
No, he's dead.
I'm pretty sure...
He's dead.
No, I'm not one of the people that want him back. Because after the way he died, it's like, how do you come back from that?
People have come back from worse.
I mean, Boba Fett came back, but he wasn't really dead.
Boba Fett just fell into a Sarlacc pit with his armor.
Exactly.
But can you think of the other person who I'm thinking? Let's test our connection here. Who am I thinking about?
Darth Maul.
Stop it, bro. We're connected. He was chopped in half and he came back.
Yeah, Darth Maul did come back, and he came back in one piece. But
2. He was chopped in half, man.
And he also fell from like very high.
Dude,
you know what? Could Mace Windu come back?
If he held on to the darkness and his anger and hatred towards Palpatine and now Anakin, because that's how they survive. That's how the Sith survive.
I guess the better question would be, do we want Mace Windu back?
Sam Jackson is ready to come back and drop a few MFs.
I mean,
on Boba Fett, I killed your daddy. I'm killing you too.
Here's the thing: if there's for them to not mention Mace, I don't know. I think at this point we'd be reaching.
It's a reach.
It's a very long reach.
But we're not here to talk about that just yet.
We are not. We're here to talk about what?
The Mandalorian season 3.
Mandalorian season 3. The bar was set high, yet it was not met. But I was happy with the season. I was happy. At no point did I feel sad.
No.
There was no sad moment on this one.
I mean, what are you talking about? They broke the Darksaber, man.
Yeah, but I'm one of...
it was a blessing and a curse.
So, okay. So, was it Favreau who mentioned that there was supposedly there was going to be a teary-eyed moment?
It wasn't Favreau. I think it was one of the stuntmen or one of the visual effects people that came on and said that on Instagram too.
Explain to us what that moment was, because I was thinking blindly that maybe Din was not going to make it out alive season 3.
Dude, and then when they captured him, tell me that
exactly when they captured him. You know what's? This is just a
spoiler alert for The Last of Us 2. I got a flashback to Joel being captured, having his kneecaps blasted in the game. I had the trauma. I was expecting him to get smoked by Moff Gideon on the spot in front of Grogu.
But that can't happen.
It can't happen. But you know what the best part is? In the next episode, first 4 minutes in, he's out. He's out, and Grogu's right there.
It can't happen because it did the same thing as a lot of these other shows with the big villain do, where it's like they captured him. They could have killed him on the spot. They could have. And they should have killed him on the spot in front of the other Mandalorian to send a message.
Nah, you make him a martyr at that point.
It doesn't matter. He's Moff Gideon. What is it? At that point, it's like, okay, on the other side of the door, Bo-Katan is looking. Right? A person that he already whooped before.
He didn't beat her, did he?
Yeah, he beat her already. And it came to the point where he was like, either surrender or die. And she and to save her people. She even said the story, to save her people, she decided
he didn't beat her though.
I'm pretty sure he beat her.
She gave him the Darksaber willingly. Because he was blowing up Mandalore, and he said, give me the Darksaber, and I won't blow up Mandalore, and you could save your people. But he took the dark saber and ended up blowing it up anyways.
That's pretty sick.
That's some Gus Fring stuff right there.
Pretty gangsters. That's some Pollos Hermanos right there. Why didn't he kill Din right there?
I don't know, man. Why don't you ask him? be like, sir, why didn't you kill Din Djarin? Spin game.
Dude, I mean, if I was Moff Gideon, I already have him trapped there, right?
The biggest threat to you. That's
he's there. He's
twice
tied.
before.
He's right in front of me. Exactly. He saw me twice before. The second one was a pretty close one because they already had him. They were already transporting him, and he's right there in front of me. I would just like pulled out, look at the rest, chop his head off.
but at the same time, he was cloning himself, and he said he was trying to splice his own like perfect specimen of a clone, where he had Jedi, and who was it? Jedi, and I think
it's just Jedi. No,
I think it was gonna be one of two things why he had him captured. I think it was he was trying to find out where Luke was so he could take his battalion of badass clones to go kill Luke and stop his threat, because Luke killed the Empire or the Emperor in his eyes. And then if it wasn't that, it was going to be to take his genetic makeup and try to come up and try to splice it into.
It wasn't just in his eyes that he thought like Luke killed the Emperor. No, it was in everybody. When Luke shows up and he's looking at him with like, holy shit, he's here.
Yep. The man who single-handedly ended the Empire.
Like Luke went in the room.
He tried to kill himself, bro.
Palpatine was there and Darth Vader was there, and Luke came out
with Darth Vader in his arms.
Exactly. So of course, anybody that's like of like Moff Gideon's ranking, like seeing Luke show up at the ship we're at, it's like
you're pooping bricks.
Shit. He's here. And and these troopers have nothing on him. So, anywho, kind of went off topic a bit.
Just a tad. But like the Mandalorian season 3, it went off topic multiple times throughout the season, man.
It did. So I still get the feeling that Bo-Katan is gonna have a way bigger role than we thought of. And now that you mentioned, I mean, we spoke about Gina Carano, but do you miss that role?
Not
now that Bo-Katan is here?
Not at all. I mean, not even Bo-Katan didn't even need to be here. I mean, regardless, Bo-Katan was already in season 2, and
right.
I just feel like Gina Carano was just too one-dimensional. There's nowhere they could go with her other than build a show around her and have her be the connective tissue, similar to Coulson in the Marvel movies.
Right.
Coulson was the one that was present throughout all the Marvel movies, and that's how you know that they were all connected.
Right.
And I feel like that was her purpose. And after they fired her, there was a lot of drama that went on behind the scenes, and they started to film a show, and they started putting in the scenes into these other shows to try to not let it go to waste.
So now that, I mean, yeah, no, I agree. I agree with all of that. Now that season 3 is over, and we get a glimpse of the Darksaber no longer being a thing, because that's what they were referring to, that the people who followed the Clone Wars and Rebels, how important the symbolism of the Darksaber was, and now is destroyed. What's next for Bo-Katan?
She's riding the Mythosaur. I don't even think she's riding the Mythosaur.
She's riding.
Whoa! Where was your mind going?
No, not like that. For some reason, I just pictured. I mean, you get a glimpse of the Mythosaur, and you get a glimpse of her next to it because she spots it, and just scale. The size difference.
She's the size of his eye.
Exactly. So you're saying she rides the Mythosaur. I mean, you would have to see that camera just like zoom in and zooming 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 in. And then finally she's there standing like on top of it aggressively, like she's ready to take over.
Why are you mad? I can't see my forehead.
Exactly. So now...
No, I actually believe with how it ended with Grogu touching the living waters and kind of communicating with it, Grogu's going to be the one to write it. He's going to be the next Mandalore.
You think so?
Was I wrong about Luke?
You were not, no. But here's the thing. Grogu being the new Mandalore. So they already said, right? The whole thing with Pedro Pascal, him not being not the Mandalorian, like it's just the title is not just because of him. It's just overall the lore of the Mandalorian.
So yeah, supposedly how it's the story of just Mandalorians as a whole, right?
Yeah, basically.
How any one of those people that came out with that helmet, with that iconic helmet, could be perceived as the Mandalorian.
So now you're thinking, so then what next for Grogu?
I think the Mandalorian is going to stay Din Djarin. You're going to get your episode.
I can see that.
You're going to get your episode of the week where Din Djarin is the one that's following all these trails to try to put a stop to the remnants of the Empire. But some way, somehow, that's the First Order is going to grow from right beneath their noses since the New Republic doesn't have any real military to stop any sort of threat. Mm-hmm. They're letting pirates and gang members take control of the Outer Rim. Gang members like Jabba the Hutt.
Yeah.
West side of Tatooine.
Dude, I can see that. Okay. So, I mean, I know it might be disappointing for a lot of people because they expected to see a teenage Grogu fighting alongside Din. It's not going to happen. Never.
No.
Do the math. It's not going to happen.
Quick maps.
You're not going to ever see a teenage Grogu with Din because by the time that Grogu hits his teens, which might not even be when he's 100.
No.
If he's 50 right now, looking like a 2-year-old, then that means that when he's 100, he may be like a 4 or 5-year-old kid, right? Or am I seeing it wrong?
No, you're seeing it right.
Or will he hit a growth spurt?
I think he'll hit a growth spurt.
To how?
Because if,
like, I mean, going back to Yoda, not Yoda was still tiny, but we're not saying like growth as in height. We're saying
he was still bigger than
as in maturity. Yeah,
but
it was.
When it comes to Yoda, it was one of those things where I think he mentioned that he's been training Jedi for 700 years. So I think that growth spurt should hit around maybe 80, 100, where out of nowhere he's going to just be like, he's going to start using the Force a little bit, and through the Force he might learn to communicate a little bit better. Whether
Talking full sentences.
Full sentences. Maybe.
You think he'll have the same speech as Yoda?
Because Yoda is iconic. Yoda is Yoda.
So can you imagine that Yoda just spoke that way, like, because he wanted to? It's not like because of his race or anything like that. It's just he just wanted to talk that way.
Well, quick thing with when it comes to the Jedi, they do two things. They follow the philosophy of the person that trained them,
right?
And they build their lightsaber to kind of give a sense of respect and pay homage to their master. But in reality, I do think that maybe Yoda's master is the one that spoke like that, and he just speaks like that to try to honor his master, man. I mean, because in reality, a lot of Obi-Wan, a lot of his teachings that came from Qui-Gon Jinn, the peace, the kind of remain of the light, focus on balance. That's all stuff that Obi-Wan practiced. Obi-Wan became the perfect Jedi. Faced so many tragedies.
So?
He faced so many.
You think the perfect Jedi was still Obi-Wan?
He faced so many tragedies and he still stuck to the light. Granted, he started to lean a little bit more towards the deceptive side of the Jedi when he was like, "Hey, Darth Vader killed your dad."
Because when it comes to, like, we were speaking about this earlier, but when it comes to philosophy, Qui-Gon was literally the definition of like a philosophical Jedi. What, like, you could have think of it as whether he was right or wrong. It doesn't matter. The philosophy that he spoke was follow what's in your heart. It may be right, basically, like on book it's right, but if you feel it's wrong, then it probably is wrong.
Maybe. Anywho,
I love Qui-Gon.
Now we're going too deep into Star Wars lore, man.
I love Qui-Gon, and I love Obi-Wan, and I still think that the chosen one and the prophecy, because Qui-Gon said it, was Anakin. And I still think that Anakin is the chosen one.
Not according to George Lucas.
Even after he turned bad. At this point, I don't give a F what George Lucas said. So, I don't know, man. What do you think?
What do I think about what? What exactly? Because you kind of lost me there with the chosen one thing. Anakin was a chosen one. I was just going based off of something I heard about George Lucas and his original plans for the sequels. Mm-hmm. But when it comes to the story, Anakin was a balance.
You know what? I did come across about what his idea was for the sequels. So I know exactly what you mean. But
that Leia was supposed to be the chosen one?
Yup. I did see that part.
Because she was the one that united both the Jedi and the Republic?
Yup.
It's a connection, bro.
But I still don't like it. Because that wouldn't mean that Qui-Gon was wrong. Qui-Gon's not wrong, man.
I don't know, but who created Qui-Gon?
His mom. What do you mean?
George Lucas, man. He's the offspring of his brain, bro.
Yeah, you're right. So, in The Mandalorian, you know what's one part that I really liked? When Skinny Pete comes out. A second ago, we were doing quotes from Breaking Bad.
That's true.
Skinny Pete comes out.
That little crackhead was a Mandalorian, bro.
And he still looks the same.
And he still looks like a crackhead.
He still looks like a crackhead Mandalorian. So when those guys come out and they're like, "Oh, we've been surviving. We've been traveling from one place to another," and I'm like, I can tell you've seen some stuff, man.
As far as crackheads go, that's the most badass crackhead I've ever seen, bro.
So my favorite part was finally you as a viewer, you can actually sense the tension between this the Mandalorian and the ship when they're on their way, right?
Which Mandalorians are you talking about?
The ones with the helmet and the ones without.
Children of the Watch, bro, and the Night Owls, man.
So, okay, so we know it, but the people don't know it. Now we're gonna judge.
Yeah, we're gonna judge. I'm a judge because I'm toxic Star Wars fan. Are you sure that's the audio you want to play for me?
Yeah, because I want people to look at you as the bad guy.
I'm the bad guy.
So the tension is broken after a game of what? Chess?
Space checkers.
Space checkers. And they start scrapping.
Ooh.
And I liked when who was it? Was it Bo-Katan who was like, let it like it was about time.
It was good. It was bound to happen.
It was bound to happen. Let it happen. Let them fight.
Don't fight this. Just let it happen.
Yeah, just let it happen. So that was necessary because that to me is what finally set the ground for. Look, it doesn't matter what's gonna happen after this. Like we're not gonna fight each other anymore. Whatever is waiting for us, we're going at it together. And you get that feeling, man.
I feel like she was trying to let them blow off the steam. Just break off the tension. The tension is high. Let it happen.
Someone had to.
Take out your anger. Kill yourselves if you fucking have to. Oh, F word.
I like that Grogu was the one that stepped in.
Yeah, because he was top piece.
He stepped in like, hey, no. Like me with this button. No.
Yes. Oh, yes, what? Yes.
Yes. I like that he's the one that stepped in. Because I feel like if it would have been another adult, it would have turned into like someone being jumped.
No, if it would have been another Mandalorian, it would have popped off even worse.
That's what I'm saying. Someone would have gotten jumped.
So with Grogu coming in and be like, no, nobody's gonna punch a baby. Other than Jason Sudeikis in that one cameo episode.
Yeah, the one cameo episode.
That's because he's sadistic.
Did you see the amount of hate that he got?
Ted Lasso, bro.
Ted Lasso, the amount of hate he got for punching Grogu.
I did not see that.
You did not see that? It was a thing. It was a thing. Jason Sudeikis was receiving a lot of hate because he punched. Because he punched
a 50-year-old baby.
Yeah, a 50-year-old fictional baby.
Star Wars fans. What can I say? Star Wars fans are passionate, bro. What?
Okay, so Gina Carano can go do these things, but don't punch a fictional baby.
That's where I draw the line, bro.
Okay.
What's that baby ever do, bro? I mean, you stick a finger in a kid's mouth, pause, and the kid bites you. You're not gonna punch the kid, bro. You're gonna trip him. I trip him.
Does he have teeth?
Yeah. Why would you punch a baby without
I'm
teeth?
punching him.
You sick, sadistic man.
Look, man, some of these babies. Anyway, it hurts, man. I know with my youngest, I used to poke the bear a little bit sometimes.
So, favorite episodes so far? What were some of your favorites?
My favorite episode for sure was
Where he takes a bath in the waters. That was as far as he got.
I'm not gonna lie. It was his redemption was by far my favorite. It's just the symbolism behind how much he loves being part of the Mandalorian, or how much he is attached to the lore of the Mandalorian, that he is willing to go to a planet that was that to them apparently was no longer a planet to even be able to reach.
They thought it was cursed.
They thought it was cursed. Not only that, but I mean, basically, it was like a no-go place. Like you don't want to step in there. And he's like, well, I have to, because apparently, if I take a bath on this thing, I'm one of you guys again.
You got to take a shower.
Exactly. So, to me, what that represented was just the amount of love that he's got for.
Just cult?
Yeah, for the cult.
Just call it what it is. It's a cult.
The amount of love he's got for it. He's willing to go and do that. But one of my favorite parts is just the mythosaur also coming out.
You like that word, huh? Mythosaur. Has it?
I liked how he looked. To me, a fan of like cryptozoology, that's the Kraken, bro.
Cryptozoology?
Cryptozoology, yeah.
From Crenshaw?
No. Of course. No, bro. Cryptozoology. Like
Superman.
Like
Superman's dog.
The chupacabra. The Kraken. Bigfoot.
What's Kraken?
Was Kraken. Exactly. That was the mythosaur. As soon as Din is next, or no, as Bo-Katan sees him.
I thought of Cthulhu.
He's I would consider him part of that, because I mean, who knows? But that's my favorite episode. What about yours?
My favorite episode. Man, honestly, I gotta say when Grogu gets his little robot. when he starts piloting IG-11 and he goes around the room. No.
The little guy.
No.
The little guy. You send me the TikTok.
Freak.
Yep.
I'm out, mother.
As he's walking away, guys, look up that scene. As he's walking away, when he jumps up, when he turns in the robot and he's talking, he's like, no squeeze. And he's walking away. You clearly hear him say, I'm out, mother.
I gotta say that was my favorite episode though, because it was just funny. It was, I mean, that's when it starts to gain its traction too. Mm-hmm. He gets that robot, and then you start seeing them go back. They actually set their mind on going back to Mandalore, and then they take that big Imperial cruiser with a big mythosaur insignia on the bottom. I was like, damn, if they made a Lego set of that, I'm buying.
You think it would be bigger than the Falcon?
No.
You don't think that Lego set would be bigger than the Falcon in size?
Mm-mm.
Huh.
I mean, so. If you want to get into the scientifics of it, the scientifications of it,
of the Lego,
no, honestly, it probably wouldn't. It's too big of a set. Honestly, I mean, granted, if they do it to minifigure scale, you'd have a whole light cruiser the size of the room, man, and that's impractical.
Okay.
And cost, but anyways, we're not talking about Legos.
I'm talking about your favorite episode, which was that one.
Because you're gonna get me looking at Legos, and I don't want to, bro. It's a bad habit.
So he does get his robot, and that's a huge thing for him, because one, he finally feels like he can help out in one way or another. But not only that, but be able to communicate with Din.
But he lets go of his little pod too. Because even after that, the robot is broken, and you just see him at the end. He's literally waddling right next to Din. It's funny.
Yeah.
And then you get the replacement of Gino Carano. which just goes to show how one-dimensional she was. They're like, hey, let's replace you with this robot because you whack.
Dude, but honestly, to me, that robot, I mean, not to bash on Gina Carano's character, but he's a bigger deal. He's the one that didn't actually finally trust because he's never been a droid person.
That's another thing I have. To go into the issues I had with this show, is sometimes the character development goes out the window. Like that episode with Jack Black. All of a sudden, he hates robots again, and he just starts kicking battle droids, which was funny.
Yeah.
Like, it was just one of those things where it's like, where did this character development go? And then he sees the little short guys that resemble Quill, his species, and he speaks to them, letting you know how far he's come as a character. And then when it comes to robots, it's like, screw you guys, I hate robots again. And then he goes back and he's willing to save IG-11 after he tried to kill Grogu for the third time?
Yeah. No, not only try to save him, but he even says that that's the only one he trusts.
Yeah.
Like, that's the one I want.
And it's like, bro, R5 hooked him up. R5 was a boy.
Right.
The little red robot.
Yep.
I mean, man.
Open the next one. Open the next one.
And he's over here fighting little mouse droids.
Yep. Exactly.
That's
but he doesn't even consider him, I bet. To him, it's that IG-11.
What do you think about that suit? Moff Gideon's suit? I was stumped. I actually thought he was one of Darth Maul's followers. Because he had the horns on his head.
I mean, I like it, but because we already know what's his name, Giancarlo Espositos.
Yeah.
He's a little guy.
He's short.
He's not a tall person. He's short, but he's also like very slim. He's just a very little person. And with that suit, they just make him like this.
Well, it was mechanized,
right?
You could hear him as he was walking.
You can, because I mean,
Terminator.
He's also like very strong. He was able to destroy the Darksaber with like nothing.
Yeah, that's Beskar.
So it was getting to a point where I was like, man, I feel like this dude's gonna stomp Din's helmet and just start stomping it one way or another, and then he's gonna have to remove it again. Because I was in a way I was kind of hoping he would remove his helmet sometime in the season.
I was expecting it too, because I think there's a clause in Pedro Pascal's contract where he has to take off his helmet at least once.
Right,
but that didn't happen. I also think he wasn't in the suit at all in the season, because he has two stunt doubles. Right. One of them is John Wayne's like grandson. You know who John Wayne is, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, like I don't think he was in that suit at all. I think right around the time that season 3 started filming was around the time that The Last of Us started filming.
Okay, so he just did the voiceover.
So I think he just did the voiceover as usual.
Man, what was your least favorite episode from the season?
Jack Black and Lizzo.
Oh my god!
Talk about an atrocity, man.
Yeah,
same one. It was literally
that's my least favorite.
You show up to the planet. I need to talk to those guys over there. Oh wait, I can't control my ship. Oh, I got to go on this little side quest, find out what's going on. Although the cameo with Jack Black and Christopher Lloyd was pretty dope. Because at this point, Christopher Lloyd's been in Star Trek, Star Wars, and in one of the best film franchises in history, Back to the Future.
Christopher Lloyd, man. I thought you were going to say Angels in the Outfield, but I liked him in Angels in the Outfield.
He was in it?
He was one of the angels.
Oh, that's right. Dude, it's been such a long time since I've seen that movie.
That's a good movie.
It's a great movie.
Yeah, no, I agree. I think that's my least favorite episode in the whole season is just the whole Jack Black and Lizzo thing. And I don't think it's not really anything to do with them. It's just the whole placement of that episode. It's like if they would have removed that episode overall, I'm pretty sure it would have been fine.
It would have been all right. If they would have approached it another way, because it honestly, in all honesty, it felt like it was more of a Clone Wars episode. Go to the planet and you have a prince and a princess. It was very Clone Warsy, which is cool. But at the same time, it's like, if they did it the right way, wasn't that the one that Bryce Dallas Howard did too? Because the one that Bryce Dallas Howard did, despite how much praise she's been getting on her episodes from Book of Boba Fett and The Mandalorian, that one episode got everybody in the Star Wars fandom to attack her and say, get her away from Star Wars' far as he can because she does not deserve it anymore.
Oh my god, freaking people, man.
We're toxic, bro.
Dude, I love Star Wars, but I'm glad I'm not part of that fandom. I'm not gonna lie. I mean, yeah, this is my least favorite episode. Do I wish hell upon Lizzo and Jack Black? No, I love Jack Black, and Lizzo is there.
Lizzo's Lizzo.
And Lizzo's Lizzo. Like, I'm not a fan of her anyway. So, what do you think holds the future for the Mandalorian? So now, of course, my theory was wrong. I was waiting for
When is it not?
for Mandalorian to die.
That's my toxic
To be
side.
killed, and the show moving on to Bo-Katan. That was what I was thinking was going to happen, but of course that didn't happen. So now we're left off with the end of the season with them finally catching a break, because for 3 full seasons, every episode was someone's dying, someone's being saved, and we're fighting all these people, all these different droids, all these other things. We're finally catching a break. And that's what I felt at the end. I felt like him in the front porch of his new crib, just chilling with his son right there in the little pond playing with the frog. And him just like waiting for like them to call him like, hey, we need you.
Yeah.
But that's the feeling I got. So now it's like, what holds, like what sort of future are we looking for?
Honestly, with this, it's Ahsoka. That's it. That's where it's going. Grand Admiral Thrawn's in the shadows. You saw you actually in that room in that 7th episode. One of my favorite highlights of that episode was you see the remnants of the Empire, all the warlords.
Mm-hmm.
One of them was General Paleon or Commander Paleon, which is like Grand Admiral Thrawn's right-hand man.
Yeah.
So people have lost it over him because he's actually a part of the old Legends novels, the ones that Disney deemed non-canon anymore. So the fact that Filoni's bringing him in is letting you know that this next storyline that they're going to tell is heir to the Empire. And then on top of that, General Hux's dad from the sequel trilogy was in that room in charge of Project Necromancer, which I don't think they've given a good explanation as to what it is, but it has to do with reanimating the dead. We're not going into zombies. I doubt it's going to turn into zombies. But
well, I mean, that they have to anyway, because that's where they're going with how Palpatine was brought back. Don't you think?
They're shifting towards it. I mean, a lot of people don't like it, but it's kind of where the story goes.
Because that's the feeling, or that's what I understood from the clones that Moff Gideon was building. It's basically just an explanation of how Palpatine later on came about.
Well, Moff Gideon was going off on his
sequel.
own. Moff Gideon was going off on his own agenda. He was trying to build his clone so he could become the new leader of the Empire.
Right.
And he was actually trying to get the other warlords to jump against Thrawn because he was like, he's never here. He's never part of these meetings.
Yeah, you guys bring him up so much and he's not here. Like, where the hell is Jenner? Yeah, I know, I get it.
And it's like, it's one of those, he's not here, but he's coming.
And he told me that you better listen to everything I said. So, nothing against Esposito's as an actor. You see him, or do you see? I mean, I'm pretty sure it's not happening.
Think he died?
Huh?
You think he died? Because I saw a conspiracy where
I think so. I think he's dead.
I saw a conspiracy where the ending of season 2, he had a mustache. He died here, no mustache. So I was like, oh, he's a clone.
I wouldn't be surprised if he is a clone.
I hope he's not.
I hope he's not, because honestly, I don't really see him being the new leader of the new empire.
No, he can't. Grand Admiral Thrawn.
Now that's different.
That's a threat.
He's blue.
He's blue.
And you know he's not messing around.
One of the blue ones from Crenshaw, bro.
Yep, he's one of the blues from Crenshaw. You know, they mean business. So, I think we got a lot to look forward to when the Mandalorian comes back.
They haven't announced this 4th season.
What do you mean?
I don't think they've announced the 4th season. As of now that we're recording this on April 23rd, 3 days after 420.
Okay.
I haven't heard any news of them announcing a season 4. All we know
What
is
do you
that
think then?
honestly, I think that Mandalorian story may be done. If we do get a season 4, it's going to be a return to form, where it's kind of like your weekly adventure, where Din and Grogu go off on an adventure to take out this remnant, and then they're going to be the ones to start stumbling upon Thrawn existing. And while Ahsoka's on the chase for Thrawn, they're going to start kind of inner kind of, what's the word I'm trying to find? Over time, they're just going to start crossing paths. What you looking up?
I'm trying to see if I can find any information in regards to that too. Because
that Ahsoka series is just going to be season 5 of Rebels. Season 5 or season 4? Next season.
When was that announced for?
What?
Ahsoka?
2 months from now.
That fast.
August.
I think it's going to be pretty dope.
Yeah, because I mean, a part of me also thinks that Dave Filoni kind of said, "Screw Mandalorian, I'm gonna go take care of my baby, Ahsoka." He created Ahsoka, so he's got to take care of his baby.
It's about time we get some sort of redemption for Ahsoka.
What do you mean redemption? She doesn't need redemption. What's wrong with you? She's perfect.
Well, here's the thing: a lot of people know about Ahsoka, right? Due to the what was it, Clone Wars?
Yeah,
and Rebels. But
that's how toxic Star Wars fans are. First they hated her, now she's like the most loved character.
Well, now I feel like now she's the most loved character because of like the live action now.
She's up there with Luke now, I think, as far as like
love. Definitely. I mean,
yeah, there's no really that you can't argue with that.
Yeah, you can't argue with it. I think it's also because it's for the people that have just followed the movies, Ahsoka is just the new great thing to look at. Who is this lady with a double sabers? Yeah, and why are they white?
Oof, stop it, bro. Getting all sweaty thinking about why they're white.
Well, I mean, we know why they're white. But I guarantee you that they're still going to do flashback episodes of how they got white. They have to.
They actually cast a girl to play a younger version of her.
Who?
I don't remember her name. But she's like in
Bella
her early
Ramsey.
20s. No, bro. No.
Oh, man. Well, all in all,
give me a rating. Give me a rating.
Of this season, I'm going to give you 7 out of 10.
Same.
I think a 7 out of 10 is pretty fair. Way above average. I liked it. I didn't love it.
Way above average?
I mean,
way above average?
I look at it this way. 5 is average. 6 is above. 7 is like you're up there. 8, 9, and 10, you're already stepping in the ooh. Like you start stepping into the great, awesome, epic. You know, that's like how I see it right now. I have it at like way above average, but it's not great. So number 8 is great, and then it's awesome, and then 10 is epic.
10 is my mind is blown.
Yep. 10 is Luke Skywalker coming back and making up for most of the season.
Season 2 was good. What are you talking about?
Yeah, no, I meant epic. Like 10. To me, season 2 was a 10 out of 10.
Season 2 could have been as slow as this one. And you throw in Luke and it's automatically a 10.
Yeah.
You throw Ahsoka in there, it's automatically a 10.
Exactly. You have Ahsoka and Luke in the same episode.
A part of me thought that they were going to show up. But at the same time, it's like you can't have a Jedi in the room with Mandalorians because I was
very excited and happy when Luke and Ahsoka started interacting. But I wanted a very deep conversation.
You'll get it. But the thing is, I mean, for a lot of Star Wars fans, the part where it kind of got to everybody was when she looked at him and she said, "You're just like your dad." And that was like one of those, damn. She said, "You're ready to kill kids." No, not really. No, she practically told him, "You're as kind and you kind of doubt yourself, just like your dad. You're not too far from him." In a good way. Not that you're about to kill kids in a way.
I hope so. Order 67, am I right?
I mean, what? I mean, if you really want to get into it, he was standing over Ben Solo's bed, ready to strike him down, just like Daddy. Ready to kill a kid, bro.
But he didn't do it.
But he didn't do it. He was about to.
And with that, we are going to leave you with this new episode of The Mandalorian. These are our thoughts. Please share with us what you guys thought of this new season. Where you guys think The Mandalorian is heading. What's going to be next? What does the future hold for Din and young Din Grogu? The adoption part. I didn't even mention the adoption part. Like, now it's official.
That was kind of redundant, though.
It was because it's like
you telling me
you're telling me that now he's his kid. So before he was just a little kid that was following him around, but now he's his son.
He's a little orphan.
Yep. Little bastard.
little wanker.
And remember, the best way that you guys can help us out is if you share this on all your social media, hit the little like button as well as the little bell. So whenever we upload new content, you are notified. And do you got anything else for this episode?
No, man. What's the quote of the day?
Do or do not. There is no try. Until next time.